Reviewing Vengeance is Mine for Ninja Turtles. So we're getting back into the Shredder and Karai stuff. So Karai has finally made her way out of Shredder's dungeon. And she's been using a coin, I think, to try to break one of the gates out. And we think things are going to go well, but then she is grabbed by Tiger Claw. Actually, when I saw this scene, it actually gave me a jump scare. Like I did not see that coming. And then Karai does her best to try to take down Tiger Claw, but he's too tough. And then she's back in the dungeon, and Shredder's there. He keeps trying to assure her, like, "I'm your father," or something. And Karai just yells, "I am not your daughter." Like, that scene was actually, like, intense. So, basically what happens now is the Turtles are now going to plan how are they going to get Karai out of her little cell, and Ralph's kind of like, maybe she'll get out herself. And Leo's like, no, we gotta take our chances to rescue Karai. And so that's what they do. They sneak to the place in the Shell Raiser. Donnie's at the Shell Raiser. Mikey's deciding to create a distraction for Razar and a Fish Face, and Leo and Raph go down into the dungeon, which is in the sewer area. And so what happens is, like, they do free Karai, and then I just love the line where Raph's like, "Can you guys keep this love drama somewhere else?" And then Karai asks how they get past Tiger Claw, and he just says they didn't. And so it's a big brawl now to rescue Karai. And they're on top of the Shell Raiser, they're all fighting, and Mikey ends up getting hurt. Like, he is struggling to take down Fish Face. Like, he uses his like nunchuck chain to, like, sort of like strangle Fish Face upside down. Like, he isn't getting choked or anything, he's just dangling, and Mikey ends up getting his arm hurt for jumping too far, and so they all escape. I always like that one shot of Shredder, like, on top of his lair, and like his cape's like blowing through the wind, and it's slow motion, and Leo's like, "Karai, let's go." And they're still dealing with trouble. So, yeah, the Foot Clan, they ain't messing around. Tiger Claw gets on top of the Shell Raiser and digs his sword deep into the Shell Raiser, and then they accelerate and get out of there. And I do like the line where Leo's like, "I know, you're not easy saying thank you." And yeah, Karai is finally rescued, and she's back at the lair. And Splinter's furious because they left without his consent. But he's relieved when Karai is finally home. And then Karai is like, "They're gonna keep looking for us." And he's like, "This is why we gotta stay down here, where it's safe." And basically what happens next is the Turtles getting some training. And Karai's laughing because it's just meant to be silly. Leo's really trying to impress Karai during training. And so Karai then decides to talk to Splinter privately, and then she basically is told why Splinter and Shredder hate each other so much. Because of Tang Sheng. Apparently their clans have always been at rivals, but apparently we learned that Shredder was taken in by Splinter's dad and raised, and that's how they were raised, as brothers, adopted brothers. Well, stepbrothers. One's the actual, well, you get the point. And so I think this is what causes Karai to go after Shredder herself, so she can finally finish the rivalry. But she's taking too many steps towards it, since Shredder's really tough. And we do get this one scene, I don't know why, it's kind of weird, I just felt like talking about it, but Leo is trying to convince Karai not to go alone. But Karai basically just, like, looks down and then puts her hand on Leo and then gives him like a weird smile, and then it's like a weird flirt. But it was revealed that she was gonna knock Leo out just so she can finish it. And then she's like, "This ends tonight." And then she does go to the Shredder's lair and tries to take him down, but it's too late. Shredder took her down and is now gonna hash out a huge plan. He's going to literally dump Karai into mutagen. And it's a special kind because Baxter Stockman, who's also trying to cure himself still, he puts some things in the chemicals in the mutagen, so I don't know, it can be special. And this just proves how much of a just not good person Shredder is. Because when the Turtles and Splinter arrive, they get into a huge fight, and then the Turtles are trapped in these cages, except Leo since he escaped. And he attempts to rescue Karai as she's about to fall into mutagen. Even she thinks Shredder's crazy enough not turn her own daughter into her fake daughter into a mutant. But then Shredder lunges at Leonardo while he's trying to free her Karai, but instead he cuts the line, and then Karai literally falls into the mutagen. I was shocked when I originally watched this when I was younger. Like, I was shocked. It's like, they were actually gonna do it. Like, they were gonna turn Karai into a mutant snake. And that's what happens. And, like, it's tragic. It's dark. And Splinter's, like, devastated by it. And then, Shredder just wants to keep blaming Splinter for everything. Even though it was his fault, he's the one who cut the line. And a huge fire happens, and Splinter tries his best to take Terra Karai, but like she just gets away, and then squirts Raph with like her snake powers, and then Shredder is relieved because he finally won, but he says he'll avenge his daughter, but like he just keeps lying to himself. He just keeps thinking it's all Splinter, and we know what he did. He just doesn't care to admit it. This is how bad of a person he is. He doesn't care for anyone. But he seemed to care about Karai, but then later in the show, you just know he doesn't care anymore. And even as Super Shredder, he just loses it. And he just ends up hurting Karai. But that's for later in the show. We'll definitely discuss it in future videos if we keep doing these reviews. But anyway, the episode ends with the Turtles, it ends on a low note, like the Turtles decide to just go home and hoping for a retro mutagen for Karai. And, it's revealed that Karai is now able to shapeshift back into her human form. So that's a relief, but then again, my huge problem with Karai being a snake mutant is that later in the show, you kind of just forget that she's a mutant snake. Like, once we do get explored, like, in the Deadly Venom episode of her abilities, but then after that, like, once she becomes a good guy, you kind of just forget that she's a mutant snake. So what was the whole point of her being a snake? It was a huge arc, for sure. But, that's an issue I guess I'm expressing. That's my honest thoughts on it. Like, it's not a bad idea, it's just like, I don't know, I thought it could have been handled better, I guess. Anyway, this is a great episode still, no matter what nitpicks I have. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. So, I think the next episode, I don't know, I think it's the Dimension X episode. I think I had to look. So, with that being said, thanks for watching, and Turtle